Welcome back, everybody. Hot Mike rolls on this Tuesday morning. We haven't had our next guest on here since before Christmas, so I'll take full blame on the losing skid that the Dragon men are on right now because they've lost a few in a row here, but maybe a chance to turn around the grind of the Northern Sun season as we welcome back MSU men's basketball head coach Tim Bergstraser to the show. We're just visiting off air. There's no excuses. You're beat up right now, but give me mindset here. We're in the grind of the season. Where are you at mentally right now with where the team's going?
Yeah, we're obviously going through a good amount of adversity here as a group and in many different forms, but all we can really do here is just keep showing up, getting back to work. We're very frustrated with how things are going. I know the guys are, they've been fortunate to win, in their careers, and that's just how the NSIC is, man. I mean, it's you hope to split when you're on the road, and we've been playing a lot of good basketball teams. We got to find a way to win against these good basketball teams, and yeah, we've had some guys that are dealing with injuries, but as we're sitting here trying to figure things out, we got to figure things out and win a basketball game at the same time. There's no excuses, and our guys are locked in. They understand there's a lot of things we still got to fix, and just coming down to executing on both sides of the floor. So we could sit here and feel sorry for ourselves, or we could just keep showing up, getting back to work, and just finding ways to get better together here.
All right, so give us the lowdown here. Who's out and prognosis of potentially coming back?
Yeah, Benenga, I don't think he'll be back anytime soon. He's doing pretty good here in rehab. Um, but yeah, I'm not sure. It could be late. It might not be all year. We'll see. And then with Jameer, it's a day-to-day deal. So it's when you're missing two first team all leaguers, that never makes things easy. But we're not the first to deal with injuries to starting guys, and a couple other guys just have some nicks and bruises that they're fighting through. But again, you're going to be feeling that way at some point throughout the year. You got to be tough enough to play through it. I mean, we've all been through it. Anybody that we're playing against, I know they're dealing with injuries and some aches and pains. So that's just the nature of the midseason form, and you got to be tough enough to play through it. I mean, I remember when I played on those back-to-backs back in the day. I played like 40-minute game on a Friday, and I could barely go up my stairs on Saturday. But again, you gotta warm that body up and rev the engine up and get ready to play another competitive basketball game because your opponent ain't going to care if you're hurt or not.
I know you're going to tell me it's an excuse, but you got two all-league guys out. I mean, how does that totally changes what you want to do out there?
Oh, for sure. And they're just playmakers. That's what's kind of we've had to adjust just as a coaching staff, trying to find best ways to get our guys in the good position. But when you got two players that have had the ball in their hands a lot and they create for a lot of guys around them, and they get the defense gravitates towards them anytime they have the ball. I mean, that's a major factor to what you do offensively. So we're definitely not going to use it as an excuse, because I really do believe Carson Johnson, he's one heck of a basketball player. I mean, Sean Wysocki, he's a great basketball player. So we're not going to use youth as an excuse. And we got veterans like Logan Kinsey, Sam Hostar's played at a high level, Jenny's played at a high level. So we're really just trying to, like I said, put the pieces together here in a very hard part of our season. So, but we're getting there. I think our guys, again, they have the right mindset, but it throws a wrench into what your normal rotations are in your system. So it's been a major adjustment for us as staff.
How tough is it as well on the fly, Tim, when now guys that aren't used to maybe having the ball late or having to take a shot late, how do you adjust for that when they haven't been in that position before?
Yeah, just trying to put them in those scenarios as much as possible in practice here. And we only get so many hours together on the court before you're playing, live against good opponents. So it's getting them as much reps as possible and trying to prepare them as much as possible for what might be thrown at them. And in the end, just we recruit guys for a reason to come here and play with confidence and be playmakers and play with freedom. We tell them that's how we like to play. We don't want them looking over their shoulders. So whenever whenever your name is called to play, you need to be ready to step up and make plays. And that's not always easy for guys that might be playing 2 to 6 minutes, off the bench or whatever the case is. Like, again, everybody wants that opportunity to play. They're always like, Coach, when's my time? When am I get more minutes? Well, when you get those 2 to 4 minutes, you better be ready to come in and produce. So it's it just comes down to, if your name's called, you gotta be ready to compete. And I think that's what anybody should want. And we've been very fortunate. We got a lot of youth on our bench right now, but it's like if you looked at years past, I mean, last year we had Jakir Sanchez coming off the bench, and he was an all-league player. So it's like there's a difference between youth and guys that have just been there before and just know how to make plays. And that showed this last weekend too. I mean, near the end of the game, we always had Beninga and Jameer. They're ready
Right.
to step up and make a big play when we needed it. And now it was a good experience for our group to find out who's going to be that guy for us. And, I think our time is going to come. I really do believe that.
When you're having a juggle like that, how much does that change your rotation? Just, okay, we're going to have to play guys that maybe I wasn't anticipating playing as much. How much does that change things for you as well?
Significantly.
Yeah.
And again, I didn't think we would be starting two true freshmen this year at any point. I was hoping going into the year I was going to be able to redshirt all
Yeah.
those freshmen, but
Yeah.
here we're sitting. And so, yeah, it's like when guys go down, it's like, all right, what can be the next rotation or the next starting lineup where we're not going to take too much of a dip in our system or just rotations. And that's what we made the decision on. And that just takes time. You need guys to play together for a while and get that chemistry down. I mean, we'll keep reverting back to Cobb and Jameer. Like, guys just had that chemistry with our starters. They just knew where to be and all that kind of stuff. And we're building that chemistry and that synergy with this group. And they're definitely growing. It's just we need to grow quicker. And
In the
then
NSI, in the NSIC of all things, right? I
yeah,
mean,
yeah. So yeah, we got to grow and mature here quickly. And while we're doing that, let's try to find ways to win a game.
yeah.
And yeah, we're trying to uh, do some different strategic things with our bench and giving guys different opportunities. And in a way, we're searching for who's going to be that next guy. So it's a juggling act. That's how it is for a lot of teams at this point of the year, especially when if you get some losses, that's going to lead you into, all right, we got to try some new things. And without completely reinventing the wheel, you
Right.
try to tinker a couple things every once in a while.
Give us the lowdown on Carson Johnson. He's the one of the true freshmen you're talking about. He had 27 on Saturday night. What kind of player is he now, and what can he be going forward?
Another one of those very confident freshmen. And I had the same conversation with him like I did Sean Wysocki, is like, I'm gonna give you this opportunity. You're gonna. It's funny. He went from redshirting, not playing, to, all right, you're gonna start and play 30 minutes a game. So it's like it's just funny how things just turn so
Yeah.
quickly. But when we had that conversation, I'm like, hey, like, don't play like a freshman, because him and Beninga used to go at it all the time in practice, and it was very fun for us coaches to watch. And he's a very confident, skilled, great basketball player. I mean, high IQ, just has that edge to him, and just absolute basketball junkie. Great in the classroom, just our kind of guy. So he's performed at a very high level, and we've had the ball in his hands a lot, and he's stepped up and made some big plays too. So I think he's a special player, and we knew what we were getting. I remember when we had him in our elite camp this past summer. We obviously had a couple point guards we were looking at. We knew we needed a point guard, and that's a very important position. And when I saw him playing and going through all the drills, like, I looked at our associate head coach Spencer Bland. I was like, yeah, like, that's our guy.
Yeah.
Like, absolute basketball junkie, tough as nails. Like, that's our guy. So I think he's got a very bright future here, and I believe he's enjoying himself. And this him getting this experience right now on the toughest part of our schedule, it's obviously going to look great for the future, but we need him to grow up pretty quick, and he understands that too.
What is that like? The initiation into the NSIC as a true freshman. You played in this league. What is that like as a true freshman to go through this?
Yeah, well, you don't know what you don't know,
Yeah.
and all you can do is just,
Yeah.
well, especially just playing on the road. I
Yep.
mean, they can listen to us, and let's say the rivalries or the type of just system, like this last week, and you're playing a team like Southwest and Sioux Falls, very physical, very disciplined teams, tough environments. Like, they don't know until they actually experience it. They can believe exactly what we say, but until they really go through that disciplined defense and getting an elbow to the face or getting hit, like, they just don't know until you know. So I thought they handled it very well. I mean, he did a great job in very tough environments and tough games. And there's a couple things that he needed to fail at, especially this last weekend, that's going to help him in the future in his development. I mean, even just a week before that against CSP in Duluth, I mean, he turned it over 10 times in the weekend, and he grew so much
Mm.
just from that weekend. Yeah, we don't want him turning it over that much, but I have full confidence. Like, I mean, that's not going to happen again. But I knew that needed to happen for him in
Right.
his process.
And you mentioned on the road, you're going into another. I mean, the Taylor Center in Mankato goes without saying. That's the defending national champs. I mean, it doesn't get any easier for this weekend.
No, there's no easy games, period, here
Yeah.
moving forward, and that's just fine. I'm just so excited just to keep showing up with this group, and we're just gonna keep showing up together and try to find a solution here, putting some pieces together. But yeah, you're going to Mankato, and some people are looking at the record. I think they're 11-7 or whatever it is, but like, they've
Right.
had such a tough schedule, and they're a very big team, very athletic. They all shoot the three. At Mankato is never easy in general. They shoot it well at home, so it'll be a tough task. And we're gonna do as much as possible to worry about us. And obviously we'll have to worry about a good basketball team, but we need to really focus on putting our piece together, trusting our system, do what we do with a little bit of sight on who we're going to be playing, and then we'll see how good old Friday night goes, and then we get to go to Winona, and that's another extremely disciplined basketball
Yeah.
team, very tough and physical, defend the crap out the ball. So we're just gonna worry about Friday, then we'll get to Saturday. But it's never easy on SIC.
I know you can't bank on maybe either guy maybe returning. Just how do you say, hey, can we hold the fort here for the next month, get us into position in February to, okay, we're going to go for it now and get ready for the tournament. I know you can't coach like that, but in the back of your mind, you're thinking, can we just hold the fort here for the next little bit to maybe get some guys back?
Yeah, that's obvious. I mean, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That's always been in my mind there's that little percentage of you're thinking about what's that postseason going to look
Right.
like? What position could we put ourselves into? But I really got to keep rewinding myself and smacking myself on the ground and look where my feet are at and like, hey, we really got to worry about today and focus on our group. And like, there's just so much that we need to focus on to improve on both sides of the ball. And I really can't talk about future games with our team. We need to be a day-to-day process group right now. And, I just really believe if we could focus on that and then we perform on game day, we'll see what that scoreboard looks like at the end of the game. So we just really need to be process oriented right now. And then if we're fortunate enough to go on a little run, that'd be great. I really do. I mean, we haven't lost 4 in a row in some time in this program, so that's never easy. We're not used to it. And again, we've been so grateful with close games and great basketball players, but I really, really do believe with this group we're gonna click at some point. I really believe that.
Well, and this is no excuses either, but Minot State hadn't lost at all, and then they just got waxed twice on the road this past weekend. So it goes more to the point of what we're talking about. Like, they were up to 4 in the country, and now they just lost 2 in a row on the road.
Yep, it can happen to anybody, man. That's why all of us coaches have such a knot in our stomach, especially when you lose. Then like in our situation, I mean, yeah, there's a little, I don't want to say pressure, but a little bit of just, it gets in your head of just, hey, man, we lost 4. Now we got to go to Mankato and Winona. But it's, again, you can't get caught up in that. You got to worry about your group. And, if like I said, if you prepare as much as you can, see what that scoreboard looks like on game day, it is what it is. But again, no one should ever be surprised on if teams lose to anybody in this league or if someone gets swept in a weekend. That's with mine, what happened. I don't think anybody's surprised by that because that's just how the NSSC is. That's kind of how we were last year too. We won a ton of close games. Like 8 of the 12 games were decided within 4 points or something like that we won. So that's just basketball for you. If you don't understand possessions and you're not disciplined enough, I mean, that ball goes in the wrong direction. You could be a 500 team to a 7+ win more team. You just never know in this competition stuff.
It's great to see you, bud. Thanks for the time. As always, safe travels. We'll do this again next week, okay?
Sounds good. Look forward to it. Thanks.
Tim Bergstraser, head coach, MSUM. Dragons take on the defending national champs. Matchup with MSU Mankato coming up on Friday, then a trip to Winona State on Saturday. In a grind right now with their 2 best players hurt. We'll see how they fare with another tough weekend coming up. We'll break. We come back. We'll wrap things up. We got a busy Tuesday on tap. We'll have our poll results. I think I know where everybody's going on that. We'll do that when Hot Mike wraps right after this.